it's Liz Yuille from Old Stables Crafts, independent Stampin' Up demonstrator based in the UK. And it's exciting day! We've got our new catalogue live! Hopefully everything is going okay and the ordering is now up and live. It was due to be up and live by now. Fingers crossed, but you know, some things can go wrong sometimes, so let's keep our fingers firmly crossed. Now, I'm going to start, it's Top Tip Tuesday, so I'm going to start with, there are two catalogues. There's the amazing full-blown annual catalogue, but there's also a smaller brochure called Experience Creativity. And this is important to know about, even if you are in love with the main annual catalogue. And I'm going to do a very, very quick run through the annual catalogue with a couple of just hints and tips of how to get the best out of it. But I want to look at this one first. This should be available on my website under catalogues as a PDF download. If you would like a hard copy, I'm very happy to send you one. There is a catalogue request form on my catalogue page on my website, and this will be one of the options to order. So as well as annual catalogue, there will be what I'm going to call the beginner's brochure. So annual catalogue, full-blown, beginner's brochure, small. I have only just ordered these as we speak, so they are going to take a while to come to me, but we were only allowed to order them this morning. So I have this because I'm just lucky that way. It's a story, and one day I may tell it. It was to do with a leaders event. It's fine, I'll tell you. We got them when we were at a recent leaders event. We were given one each, and it's gorgeous. So inside we have got the kits that are available in the annual catalogue. We have stamp sets and items, general items that are available in the annual catalogue. And then we come on to some items that are not. So if I go to Magnolia Lane in the annual catalogue, we will find, and yes, I have tabbed my catalogue because I am that way inclined, and that was courtesy of one of my demo friends who very kindly shared a download. It's her download, it's not my download, so I can't share that with you, and it was shared in a closed Facebook group, so sorry, not available. However, I'm sure there are demos out there who will do them. Connie Stewart over in the States normally does a download for your catalogue, so well worth going and having a look at her website. So, Magnolia Lane Suite, Magnolia Blooms stamp set, Good Morning Magnolia. Okay, so if we go back to the Magnolia Lane Suite, you will find that there are Memories and More card pack and Memories and More note cards and envelopes. These are not the same any more than the stamp set is the same as what is shown here. So this is an exclusive to this brochure set. It's a smaller set. This is full size. This is a smaller set. It's photopolymer. It is only £13. It's the same font, but it's got more of what I would call everyday sentiment. So it's happy birthday, congratulations, and thank you. We have got thanks in the full set, but thank you is, I think, a more usable greeting every day. So yeah, so there is this stamp set that you can add to your Magnolia, your Good Morning Magnolia stamp set, or if you get this and you are bitten by the crafting bug, and frankly who wouldn't be, you can then upgrade, if you like, to this set, but there's no overlap, which is fantastic. There are similar images, but they are not the same. There is a leaf, but it's not the same leaf. There's a smaller magnolia, but it is not the same. This has got leaves. It's much smaller than this, so yeah. There are also the note cards and more, well, what they call Magnolia Lane Cards and More, which is a pack of 10 of our standard note cards and envelopes that we all know and love, that you can get in the annual catalogue in packs of 20. These are 10 note cards and 10 envelopes, but they come with 10 double-sided designer cards. So they're 2 each of 2 designs. They are double-sided, so you get 4 designs in your pack. And you can see the 4 designs here are 1, 2, 3 and 4. This is a very faded version of the card that we're going to make. So, which is more like Verdant Garden, which is one of the new stamp sets, which I will show you in a minute. But these are really quick and easy to put together. You can get a couple of stamping spots as one item. You can buy a whole little bundle so that you've got everything you need to make these cards, which is a fantastic idea. But these stamps and the spots and the Magnolia Lane cards and more are exclusive to this brochure, as are the Celebrate with Cake stamp set. This is only in the brochure. Everything else on the page is available elsewhere, but these are only available in the brochure. And the I Love This Hoot Hoot Hooray stamp set is only available from this brochure. So if you want any of these stamp sets or the extra bits from the Magnolia Lane card pack, then you need to be looking at this brochure, not the annual catalogue. So as I say, this should be available as a PDF to download from my website, but you can order a copy from me for free and I'll get this posted out to you as soon as I can get it in my hot little hands to send. So, because that's my only one. So, let's go back very quickly to the annual catalogue. We have got fairly standard stuff in that we've got the introduction with lots of lovely chat from Shelley Gardner and all that sort of stuff, who's our co-founder. We've got some information about how the stamps are presented. So we've only got two choices in Europe and the UK, or I should say UK and Europe, which is the new Cling, which we had in the spring-summer catalogue, which is red rubber, and the photopolymer, which is the see-through stamp, which we've again know and love. So we've now got red rubber or photopolymer, Cling, see-through. Colour families, which do appear later. But then we come to a bundle index. So the bundle index has all of the bundles that are in the catalogue, and therefore these are all new items because bundles are only ever new. So if you want to see if something is part of a bundle, this is the place to go. And of course, if it's a bundle, you get 10% off. Now the 10% icon will appear throughout the catalogue. What's not on this page but is everywhere else is if it's a new item, there will be a new icon as well, and I will show you that when we get to further into the catalogue. But because bundles are by definition new, there are no new icons next to the bundles on this index. So lots of bundles. Then we get to the beginning of the suites. There are codes to buy everything that is in a suite, but you cannot use this for a half-price item. So if your order is large enough to get a half-price item, you can get bundles as half-price items, but you can't get the whole suite. The whole suite as one code is new, so this is not a change, it's just something to be aware of. So yes, and we've started on the fact that we've got the new icon showing on this page. Let me find the larger version. So this is the larger version of the new icon, which you can see there. So the N in the middle of a red star. So the suites just, you know, keep coming. There are, I think, 19 different suites, and some amazing new products. All this male stuff. Oh, loving it. And of course I'm doing my Father's Day series. That's what I'm looking for at the moment. Stamping storage is currently in Europe not available. I think apart from the blend storage, you can't order any of the storage because it's just flown out of the warehouse. I'm afraid it's probably us demonstrators ordering it. Apologies for that. But sorry, it should be back in at the beginning of July, so not long to wait. We've then got our colour collections, and they're beautifully indexed across. So if you look at, say, Pear Pizzazz, it's green the whole way across, which is just lovely. This is half the size of how it was laid out last year, and that's partly because this is a slightly shorter catalogue. There's about 40-50 pages less. So yeah, so this is all our designer series paper. Look at it all the stacks as well. Do remember I am doing product shares. I've done my first product share. I'm doing a second one at the beginning of July. You can find the information for that on my website under craft boxes and product shares. Memories and more, and the usual bits and pieces. And then if we go right to the back, we've got host sets as ever. So the host sets, which as you may or may not know, are if you've got stamping rewards, so if your order is over £150, you earn stamping rewards, and the more you spend, the more your rewards are. If you've got stamping rewards, you can use them for anything in the catalogue, including the host sets, which are subsidised. So this, for example, Soft Spring, is valued at £15, but using your free, because you didn't pay for them, stamping rewards, you would only use £9 of your rewards. And there are a number of them. So, hurrah! Love it! Love it, love it. And then how to become a demonstrator. And if you've got a large order, if you're looking at an order that is over £100, please join my team. Please join my team. It will save you so much money. And if the worst happens and you decide not to be a demonstrator anymore, it's no big deal. You just stop. You don't have to resign. You don't have to do any of that malarkey. You just stop buying and you stop being a demonstrator. It's that simple. So please, you will get £130 of product for just £99, free postage, delivered to your door by UPS. £99 for £130 of product. This is the perfect time to join my team. And you can join my team whether you're in the UK, France, Germany, Austria, or the Netherlands. I already have European team, so, you know, I'm set up for that. So please, please, please. In Europe, it is €129, and I want to say €179 of product. Let me double check, because they haven't put it in the catalogue, which is slightly not helpful for those of us who have no brain. Let me just find that for you. I should know it off the top of my head, but I think it is. I'm fairly certain it's 179. I lied, €175 of product. I was close. So, yes, please. That's the most cost-effective way of buying Stampin' Up products. And you don't have to sell. Please don't think you have to sell. It's up to you if you sell. So long as you can meet your quarterly minimums, then it's fine. And for anyone who signs up in June, you would have all of June, July, August, September, and if you needed it, October, in order to hit your first quarter's minimum. And by that time, you'll have the new Christmas catalogue to buy from as well. So seriously, it's not going to be a big deal. The index is still with us, but it is just a list of the stamp sets. It's not got any images. So that is the annual catalogue, and it's lovely. It is my favourite yet, and I'm including the this occasions catalogues in, you know, the seasonal catalogues in that as well. But we need to make a card because it's, you know, Father's Day week. So this is the card that I've already made using the Verdant Garden stamp set that I had. Oh, and I buried. Verdant Garden stamp set. It's a 2-step stamp set. It's in the catalogue. It's pointed towards wedding because here's a wonderful couple. I'm going to use it for a Father's Day card. Now, I must admit I am throwing a few extra products at it. So I've got the dies from the where's the other pack? It's from the Well Said. It goes with the Well Said stamp set, but it's called Well Written Dies, which were carried over from the Spring Summer catalogue. So they are in the annual catalogue, as is the Well Said stamp set. It's now not a bundle. I have been reminding you to get bundles. And I've also got the rectangle stitch framelets, which again were a bundle and now aren't. I've made this in crumb cake, early espresso and soft suede, and I'm going to make the other version, the version I'm going to make with you, in Bermuda Bay and Coastal Cabana. And this was copper, and I'm going to not do copper. So I have been playing, as you can see. So I'm going to start with my usual second layer matte, and I am going to start with Coastal Cabana. And now I got myself all confused. Personally, I would use them in these orientations. Now, I did try and get this all to line up on the Stamparatus, and I really couldn't. I tried and tried and tried, and I couldn't. So if anyone out there knows how to line it up with the Stamparatus, please share. But I'm going to use them in the orientation in which they occur on the stamp set. I am not going to turn them as I stamp, because it's much easier if you use them in one orientation. Otherwise it gets a bit confusing. So, starting with my orientation as per the stamp set, I'm going to start in a corner, and I'm going to just line up the edges of the straight edges here with the edge of my card, you know, as well as one can, and stamp. Now, one of the joys of this, now you need to line this bit up with this gap here, and don't go, I've got a dirty mark on my stamp, there we are, that's better, or on my block rather. Don't go too down, just, you know, you're trying to replicate this gap, this spacing, so don't come down, don't go up. Doesn't matter too much, but try not to. And it's not, for my size card, it's not quite long enough, so of course I'm going to have to fill in the gap at the top, because that's me. Otherwise I'll just stress about that white line at the top. And then all you do is repeat to the left, and obviously you could start at the left and go right. I'm going to have to concentrate. Now, one of the joys of this stamp set is it's not meant to be solid. It's meant to be a bit not. And I mean, you know, this is not solid. This is not solid. So don't worry if things go a little awry with your inking up, for example, because it doesn't matter. No one will know. But again, I'm going to have to go down the side, and of course, because I started at the bottom, I'm going to have to start at the bottom again. Just because what I could do, of course, is just cut the card down. In fact, what I might do is just cut the card down a bit. It'll be fine. As long as we trim the same amount off on each side, it'll be fine. So we'll do that, because it's going to take too long otherwise. And, you know, there's watching ink dry and there's watching paint dry. We don't want to do both. So, as I say, I'm going to keep this in the same orientation as it is on the front of the stamp set. So it was like that. So with my small square in the bottom right hand corner. Otherwise I'm going to just, you know. And all you do is line it up so that the star, for want of a better word, is in the middle of the small star, is in the middle of the large star. That's what I'm trying to say. It's inking up not very well, and it's inking up appallingly badly. But I do find if your ink pad is reasonably well inked, once you've got going, you kind of just have to ink up with one tap of the stamp onto the ink pad rather than 2 or 3. You can tell I'm concentrating. Oh, and for those of you who sent me best wishes for my fun run, I use the word fun and run in the loosest sense of those words, I finished, which is miraculous, because I hadn't run. It was a 5k, and I have not, for those of you who don't do kilometres, just over 3 miles in old language. I have never run that far before. The furthest I have run before is 3 kilometres. So for me to even finish was miraculous. Now I know I'm going to trim, but I do still need to get the squares in this line here. So yes, thank you for your best wishes on that. I've just missed up the top, and I don't know that all of that's going to get trimmed off. So I need to go in there. I didn't get the best time in the world. I set myself the goal of 45 minutes, and I came in at just over 40, as in 40 minutes and 15 seconds, which is fine. I finished. I didn't run the whole way. I did running and walking, and when I say walking, I mean, you know, power walking. But I worked on the premise that it was better to finish at all than kill myself and do a quick time to kill myself. As in, you know, kill myself and then not finish. So, yes. Right, so I am just going to trim off a teeny weeny bit. So this is 3 3/4. I'm going to come down to 3 5/8 on that side. And so I'm taking 1/8 of an inch off. So this was 5.5, and I'm just going to come down and trim it down. Actually, I'm going to trim it down at the other end. Just because there are bits that I didn't stamp because, you know, life really is too short. So, I have already got bits cut. So I have, from a piece of Coastal Cabana, I have taken one of the rectangle stitch shapes, and it's the second largest of the ones that are down the side. And I've die cut from the middle of my mat because no one's going to know but you and me and, you know, anybody else that's watching this video. So it's fine. So this is then going to pop on there. So let me just grab my liquid adhesive. I'm going to use a very small amount of liquid adhesive around the outside to adhere one to t'other. And I'm basically doing it purely because I get the wiggle room. Someone asked recently why I don't use liquid adhesive on designer series paper, and it's the same as why I don't generally use it well, I don't use it that often on standard Whisper White. It's because it can not wrinkle, but it can kind of show through. So it's kind of, yeah, no. Right, okay, so my heat embossing. Now, this is stitched. So we need to be very, 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 very careful that we get embossing buddy where we need it, because the embossing powder will want to go into the holes. So by putting a reasonable amount of embossing buddy on first, we will help reduce that. So I've got the Father's Day stamp from the Well Said stamp set, which is the same set as the dies are from. And I'm going in the bottom left-hand corner with that. And it's, you know, crooked. Hey, 'twas ever thus with me when I'm trying to do a quick video. In the original, I got it straight and used copper embossing powder. This time I've got it crooked, and I'm going to use gold embossing powder. And there we go. Because we used a reasonable amount of embossing buddy, we haven't got any stray going into the stitched elements. So do be careful and use your embossing buddy. Keep it with your Versamark. Then it's going to be there when you need it. Okay, so I'm just going to pop that, actually I'll pop it that way around under there on my lovely cheese board. I'm just going to heat up my heat tool under my desk. So yes, I was exhausted when I finished my fun run. My husband, he has taken a photograph of me crossing the finishing line. I may share it on my website. I may. It may be there. I haven't decided at the point of filming this whether or not I'm going to share that with you. I love gold and teal. It's just a favourite. Oh, love it. I love the fact that it's crooked as well. So I have already die cut my Happy in gold cardstock, and I'm afraid I have used double-sided adhesive sheet for the simple reason that I've got it, and I will be using it up. So you can use multi-purpose liquid adhesive, that's what I'm trying to say, just on the back with a sponge, So what do I mean by that? I would get my sponge, just a piece of ordinary stamping sponge, which I've marked as glue, pop some liquid adhesive on your silicone mat, and then just pick it up and add it to the back of your die cut. That's a perfectly reasonable way of doing it, but as I say, because I've got the multi-purpose adhesive sheet, I will be using it. And as I have quite a lot of it, I'll be using it for a while. So yeah, oh, and look, the sun's just coming through. So I've got the Coastal Cabana Bermuda Bay striped ribbon, which has carried over. I've got a pair of snips to snip, and I'm just going to attach that to the back. I just want that so that it's straight. So grid paper, yay, we love grid paper. Let's line that up on the grid paper and grab some snail, which I had just now. Where have I hidden my snail? How can I have lost my snail? Am I looking at it and just not seeing it? I mean, clearly that's what I'm doing, but I had it just now. Okay, won't be using snail. I will be using some tear and tape instead. How bizarre. That's very odd. Okay, tear and tape is a great adhesive. And because it hangs from my ribbon board, I know where it is at any given moment. I must find out. Oh, I've just seen my snail. Okay, I'll be using my snail in a moment. I have no doubt. Actually, I won't. Just saying. Retired piercing tool. There is also the take your pick tool, which I do have, but I've got the other bits. I haven't got the piercing tool on it at the moment. There's a new head for the take your pick. So there's our ribbon attached. I've got a long thin card base this time. The previous one was short and fat. I'll show you that again in a moment. Bone folder for a crisp edge. And liquid adhesive. Pop that on the front of our card. And grab some dimensionals. And I'm just going to use 3 across the back. 1, 2, 3, and pop that on there. And I've basically stuck that straight over the ribbon. Because it's a relatively flat ribbon, that works. If you're using burlap ribbon, which is what I was using yesterday, you do not want to add dimensionals where your ribbon's going to be. Then I've just tucked the end of my ribbon through the gap between the edge of the card and the die cut, and then just tie that in a half knot. Make sure it's really tight, and then you can just trim the ends, and it nicely fills that gap. You'd think I planned it. And there we go. So that is our kind of bright version. And this is our mottled version. And here's my snail. So yes, neutrals, brights. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you are as excited by the new catalogue as I am. Do remember that if you want a real version of this, the Experience Creativity brochure, just let me know and I will get one out to you. But it is available to download as a PDF. It's not long. It's 16 pages including the front and the back, so it's not a long document, so it is there if you would like it. But there are items in here, top tip, there are items in here that are not in our beautiful shiny new annual catalogue that I can now show you the inside of. So yes, 2 catalogues. I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you don't already subscribe, I would be thrilled if you would subscribe. I'm trying to hit 7,000 subscribers by the end of June. I think it's unlikely, but you know, if you don't have a goal, you can't hit it. if I didn't have the goal of coming in under 45 minutes in my fun run, I wouldn't have hit 40 minutes. So it's good to have a goal.